Hey guys, Angelo here, and welcome to my What's in the Bag series. Hope you enjoy it. Alright, so welcome to my What's in the Bag. Today I'm going to be going over just my equipment inside of my bag, and then in the next part I'll get into what's actually inside of my bag, you know, all these different pockets, and why I have that stuff. So, starting off with all my wedges. Some of it's the same from my old What's in the Bag, but some of it is a little bit different. And be aware that not all I have some clubs here that I don't bring everywhere, but as a common theme I have my TaylorMade EF spin groove wedges. I got a 60 with 7 degrees of bounce, a 56 with 12 degrees of bounce, and a 52 with 9 degrees of bounce. I really like these wedges because they give me a good feel around the greens. The 60 especially, I can hit it high, I can hit it low, I can spin it, I can let it run up, I can do whatever I want with it. And then the 56 and 52 give me good control when I'm hitting approach shots into greens. But they do spin quite a bit, so if I'm trying to land on a firmer, faster green, it is not a challenge, to be honest with you. If I was playing with some other wedges, I would find that they were a little bit tougher to land because they go a little bit lower and they don't spin as much, but these wedges just spin like crazy for some reason. Compared to even the Vokeys, these things, in my opinion, outmatch the SM6s by far, just because how much spin they have and how much control you have with the ball. So moving on to my irons, I have the RSI TPs, and these clubs have been in my bag for almost a year now. Actually, no, probably for a full year now. I got them late August last summer, and I have them still in my bag. For my mid irons, they're all no speed slot besides the 7 iron. The 7 iron's got a speed slot, so I'll just leave that out for a sec. All the mid irons, so pitching wedge, 9 iron, 8 iron, have no speed slot. It's all Forge Club technology, and pretty much these irons are designed for the best players that still want a little bit of forgiveness when it comes to play. So they're not muscle backs. I won't sugarcoat it. They aren't muscle backs. They aren't thin at the top by any means, but they do allow for an immense amount of control. They aren't straight up in the air kind of iron. They do allow for different kinds of ball flights, different kinds of shot shapes, and everything that a golfer wants in a good solid iron. In the shafts I have in these right now, all like the paint is gone on them, but it's the KBS Tour Stiff Flex. So just pretty much stock shafts that come with the clubs, and then the grips are the TaylorMade Tour Velvet Golf Pride grips. I probably need to get these changed, but they really aren't that bad, to be honest with you. And I said I was going to get them changed for a really long time, but I'm pretty happy with them. They don't really slip, they're pretpretty decent, so I'll just keep them the way they are so far. Okay, so now moving on to my long irons. Probably noticed that there's one too many here for the bag. I have 7 iron, 6 iron, 5 iron, 4 iron, and 3 iron. I'll keep the 3 iron out for a second. I want to get to that later. It's a special club. The 7 iron, it is a mid iron, but it has some forgiveness for you just in case you aren't feeling so confident with it. And it's always good. Like, it doesn't hinder the ball performance or anything. It just makes the swing, or it allows you to swing a little more freely in your mind. I guess you aren't so concerned about a mishit and a bad result of the shot. If you do hit it out of the toe or the heel a little bit, it isn't going to make too much of a difference, to be honest with you. I've done it before in tournaments especially. You get a little bit nervous, you get a little bit shaky, you kind of gear down a bit. You might not hit it properly, but the 7 iron still goes pretty much the same distance and pretty much where you wanted it to originally start. Now on to the long irons. So I got the 6, 5, and 4. And all my irons are still the KBS Tour stiff shafts with the Golf Pride Tour Velvet grips. Again, I can't really say too much about these clubs. They're very easy to hit. I have a lot of confidence with them, especially my 4 iron. I tend to go into a lot of par 5s agree with my 4 iron and maybe 5 iron quite a bit. And I feel as much confidence to hit these as I do my 8 iron or 9 iron. I can go right at the pins with them, and I can control the ball flight to tee pretty much. I don't need to worry about mishits because the weighting and, again, the speed slots make it very easy to hit properly and give you that wiggle room if you don't hit it like completely the way you would have liked. So yeah, I can't complain about these clubs. They're really good, and I'm not even sure I'm gonna get rid of them anytime soon. So these are probably gonna stay. And now moving on to my 3 iron. If you saw my Joe Chavez what's in the bag when my dad did it. He said I didn't have the 3 iron in the bag, and that was true. I had the hybrid. So I had the hybrid in play there because I didn't really need the hybrid or the 3 iron, but I was gonna hit a hybrid off of a couple of tee shots, and I just think 3 iron was an obsolete club when it came to that tournament. But for example, when I was in New York for the HAGA Lessons Classic, I had this club in the bag because it was very windy. The course was pretty short, and I could just hit stinger 3 irons all day long and be in pretty decent position most of the time. So I really like this club because I can hit, like I said, stingers with it. I can hit knockdowns, I can hit draws, I can hit cuts. And with the hybrid, it doesn't offer that much versatility with the ball flight. The hybrids pretty much just go straight in the air with a draw or cut depending on what I want to hit. I can't hit a stinger hybrid. It's very tough for me. I don't know why. So that's when I'll put the 3 iron in play. And this club is very, very handy for windy days. Trust me, if it's windy, you don't want the ball to be going out into the air like a hybrid would. Just put this in play and choke up on a bit, put in the back of your stance, and just hit it. And it'll be pretty straight. Maybe I like to play a little draw with my stinger just so it can penetrate the wind a little bit more. But it'll find the fairway 99% of the time. Like I said, when I played in that HAGA in New York, had this in the bag, and I don't think I missed a fairway with it. So it's a very reliable club, very helpful, and I keep it in the bag sometimes, but not all the time, just depending on what the conditions are and what the course requires. Alright, so now moving on to my hybrid. This is the same as my old what's in the bag. I got the TaylorMade, I don't even know what this is, the R11, I believe, Tour Preferred Hybrid. It is 21 degrees standard, but I have it on lower, so it's at 19 right now. And I really, really like this club because I hit it great 99% of the time, 100% of the time. And really the mishits aren't even that bad either. This club is a bit bigger than the hybrids now, like the M1 compared to this. This is about, the back at least is half the size of like the M1. So the M1 is basically like cut right here, and this hybrid has a bit of a bigger back. But the one drawback of this club is that it does go really high in the air. And even when you want to lower it, it still goes pretty stinking high. Might be due partly because of the shaft, but mostly because of just the weighting on the bottom of the club. When you have more weight on the bottom, it's just gonna send the ball way up in the air. This is a great club if you're playing a little bit of a longer course, going to par 5s with really firm greens. You can just hit it, throw it up there, let it sit soft, and you're pretty much golden for most of the time. The shaft I have in this has not changed from my last 3, I believe, what's in the bags. It's the Acra 60i. It is a regular flex shaft, and we had this fitted because at the time when I got fitted for this shaft, I wasn't hitting as far as I do now, and my club head speed was nowhere near as it is now. And this shaft got the ball in the air pretty high for what I wanted. And now it's just way too whippy, and if I try to swing too hard at it, it goes right. Like I had the same problem with my driver a while back ago. So probably gonna need to get this looked at. Although it is a very nice shaft, it's like a matte black finish to it, and the grip, of course, is the Golf Pride multi-compound red, white, and blue and gray grip. So this is another great club. I haven't substituted this club out of my bag, partly because I just hit it so well, and even all the hybrids that I've tried to date haven't matched the numbers that this produces. Even though it's old, sometimes older clubs still work the best, and case in point right here. Okay, next up we're going to move to my 3-wood. It's the same as the last what's in the bag. Nothing changed in it really. Maybe just the settings on it, but that's pretty much it. I got the TaylorMade M1 13 degree 3-wood. So it's like stock 15 degree 3-wood set at lower at 13 degrees. That is because it's a pretty high spinning 3-wood, and it goes like high at 13 degrees alone, and I just keep it there so that I can keep it a little bit lower if it's windy and hit it off the tee, hit some stingers with it, because that's a pretty clever shot to hit with the club. And it doesn't get like overly high to the point where like it's getting caught up in the wind and everything. It's still, it doesn't like balloon, it just goes up and then reaches its apex and comes back down. Pretty softly, but I can control it, put it a little bit back in my stance off the tee, and hit a nice low one that rolls out really far. So that's also a useful shot to have with the 3-wood. And the shaft that I got in this is the Tour AD Graphite Design GT7S. It's a stiff shaft, but it feels like an extra stiff because it's got a really stiff tip. I don't know why it's only a stiff. It feels like it's tough to get around if you don't hit it properly, if you're not swinging at 100%. it does feel tough to turn the ball over, I would say. And I like that because I don't need to be hitting like rope hooks with this thing. I'd rather hit a nice subtle 3-4 yard draw that finds a fairway every single time, opposed to hitting a hard draw that I gotta start over the right trees and bring it back. And another good thing is this 3-wood is very versatile. I can hit a lot of different shot shapes with it, cuts, draws, hooks, slices. Maybe not on demand all the time, but I can hit it. And then last in the bag, before I get to my putter, is my driver. I got my Drexel head cover. I forgot, this head cover is from Oakmont, and this one is just a stock True Preferred head cover that came with the R11. Okay, and then, yeah, my Drexel head cover, it's pretty cool. Nice and, I like it. Anyways, going to my M1 now, I have a 10.5 degree, now this is different from my old what's in the bag, 10.5 degree set at 9 degrees, or no, 8.5 degrees. And this is because I just found that my ball flight was going way too high with my driver. So I just got a really lower lofted driver and saw what it did. And it actually helped out a lot. The reason why I actually got this driver was when I was in Ohio for the Hudson Junior. I was on the range and I was hitting it well, but like my driver just sounded really off. So I got into the first tee. Before I hit my tee shot, I looked at the bottom of my club, and the bottom of my club had like a huge just crack in it right here. So we were lucky enough to get a M1, or my dad had his M2 in the car. We got that for the day, and then I got this TaylorMade M1. And then in the shaft in it as well is a great shaft. It's a Project X Hazardous. It's the 6.5, so I believe that's an extra stiff. 3.2 degrees, I believe that's the lie angle, if I'm not mistaken. 62 grams and a low, and it's like called low spin shaft. I'm not sure how much that does, but being an extra stiff, it doesn't take a lot of curvature. It's pretty straight, but it just goes a mile. Like this club flies so far and rolls out pretty far as well. But I've noticed that with my extra swing speed that I've gotten in these last couple months, my ball is spinning a little more. I'm at like 2400 spin rate on TrackMan. And the ball is going a little bit higher, and it isn't rolling out as far, unless I get into like in Canada, New York Downs, and I think just takes off if it hasn't rained in like a couple days. But the driver flies a lot farther in the air than I would have expected it to, and that's why I have kind of the dial in the middle, so in between high and low, so kind of neutral, and then the other T-track neutral as well. So they, I don't think they do much, to be honest with you. I know that there's a big difference when you put it to lower on the M1, and I don't know why. I guess because you're moving up that center of gravity pretty far. But this draw and fade track, I don't think it does too much, to be honest with you. It might help you to a certain extent, but having both the weights right in the center, or at least fade and draw in the center, just gives it makes the sweet spot more concise, but it gives you better results when you hit the sweet spot. So that's why I have that one right there. I don't really need to move that around and play with it too much. It's pretty solid where it is. I don't know how I got this nick on the paint here, but it gives it some character as well. Okay, now into the last club in my bag. I'm actually most surprised that it's this club, to be honest with you. You haven't seen this before, I haven't done any reviews on it. It is the Scotty Cameron Select Newport 2.5. And the 2.5 means it has this like gooseneck. It's not like the really mechanical neck that's kind of creates a square. This is a very flowing neck into the putter head, and I just really like it. If you remember my old which Scotty Cameron is right for you video, I had, where is it? I had one of these Golos. I think it was this one. It was this Golo, and I was like saying I really like the head, but I just wish it wasn't this kind of neck. The one that I have my putter right now. And I don't know why I said that, to be honest with you. I guess I didn't like it at the time, but now having this kind of putter, this gooseneck, I guess you could call it, I really love it. I can't complain at all about it. It's 35 inches with like the stock Scotty grip, but it is kind of wearing out now, so I probably should get a new one or a new kind of grip. Who knows? But I'm gonna grab my other two putters that I was using for this year and show you guys what those are. And also I have the Scotty Cameron Custom Shop Dirty Rat head cover. I really like this one. It's pretty cool. You get a lot of compliments on it. Probably have the most unique head covers out of a lot of people that I know in my bag right now. I got the Drexel, the Oakmont, and the Scotty Cameron Dirty Rat. So you probably remember these two putters that I showcased a while back ago. This one is my TaylorMade Spider Blade that I painted black for some reason. Ask me why I did that now, and I regret it tremendously because I think I screwed up my putter, to be honest with you. But it did get bent when I was coming back from Arizona right here. So like there's a huge, well, it's not huge, but it's a slight bend, and we can't get it back. And like instead of getting reshafted, we just stuck with using one of the ones down here for a bit, and then I got fit for. I kind of went to the golf retail store, tried out all the Scotty Camerons. I like that one the most. But this putter is also 35 inches, so the same as my one I have in the bag right now. I really like a long putter, I don't know why. I don't like necessarily hold all the way up at the top. I choke up a bit on it, but not a ton. This putter especially, like if you probably can't see it, but there's a lot of wear and tear up here in the grip, and then this one's pretty much all fresh down here besides just sliding in and out of the bag. But this putter was one of my favorite putters for a really long time until it got bent when it was in Arizona. And I really wish I could still use it, but I found a great alternative in my Scotty Cameron Newport 2.5. So why not? It gives you the best of both worlds. It gives you the Scotty name brand, which everybody loves, I guess, which I got a lot of hate for some reason. Nobody likes this putter for some reason. They're like, oh, you have a crappy TaylorMade putter. I'm like, no, it's a great putter. Whatever gets the ball in the hole, pretty much, I guess. But the Scotty Cameron gives it the name and the feel that I like. And then another putter that I have that I've used for a while, but haven't really grown on it a lot, is the Scotty Cameron, like 2 years ago version, Newport 2. So it's not the 2.5, it has like the mechanical neck, like I was calling it, the square neck, with a Super Stroke Slim 3.0 grip. This putter is 33 inches, so 2 inches shorter than my Scotty that I have in the bag right now. But I don't really think the Super Stroke did what it was supposed to do for me, or what I would have liked to see it do. So I got it, and I had this in the bag for a year or so before I started YouTube, and I just stopped using it. And then that's when I found the TaylorMade, and I really drew on the TaylorMade, and I found that putter gave me a lot of really good results, so I just stuck with it. And then it got bent, and then I had to get a new one. So, you know what? Saying that I've moved from 3 putters in the last 3 years is not too bad. I've seen people go through 3 putters in 3 months, which is pretty bad. You gotta stick with something and work with it. You can't just like throw it out. There's an old saying that people say, it's not the bow, it's the archer, and basically it's not the putter, it's the putter. So essentially it's not this, it's me. So you just gotta work with what you got and try to make everything work the best. And I forgot to say, I got the Augusta National head cover on here for that I got from the Masters this year. I also have 2 alignment rods that I carry around everywhere I go. It's very important to have these on the ground when you're hitting balls so that your alignment's good. You can be on the range one day and you just wake up funny. Your feet may be aligned, I don't know, 20 yards right, and you're hitting it at the target. And then you get on the course and you aim at the target and you pull it like 40 yards, which isn't the best because that normally brings in some pretty big hazards. So hitting with alignment rods down is always good. I have a towel, the AJGA TaylorMade towel. These are the new ones. They have the TaylorMade logo before they had the Titleist logo because they were previously in a partnership with Titleist. Now they're with TaylorMade. This one I got at Forest Lake, the Tom Holzer Ford one. That was not my best showing, but bounced back pretty well. And then on the outside of my bag, I have my AJGA bag tag, my York Downs bag tag, my brush to clean my grooves, which is always good. You want clean grooves, otherwise you're not going to get the proper performance and the proper spin out of the golf ball. I got my Future Masters bag tag and my Bushnell. This is the Tour V3. Surprising, like this is a pretty old thing and it's gotten a pretty good beating, but it still works like pretty well. I'd say it's accurate like 77% of the time. Pretty precise. And that's because, I don't know, you just, with its age, like you can hit something and you're not sure if it's the pin or the trees behind it or the mound behind it. So you guys double check everything, and that's always better. I would double check with any kind of Bushnell, so it basically just makes me double check things a little bit more and be a little more precautious with my yardages. And I wasn't gonna get into these, but since they're on my bag, I have the TaylorMade gloves. I won't get into too much detail. These are gonna be safe for a different part. And then the bag that I got, you guys see the U.S. flag logo, or the U.S. flag logo, and then the New Haven Country Club logo. This is the bag that I won at the Northern Junior. I came in 2nd place there, lost in a playoff unfortunately, but I was very happy and I got this bag as a result. So pretty cool memento to have from a really great experience that I had in Northern Junior. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching the first part of What's in the Bag, so my equipment series. Next part, I'll be getting into what's inside the bag. I'll get into more of the gloves and the golf balls and everything packed inside there. So stay tuned for that. Have a good day. Bye.